act of love. Now this could almost sound like a chapter 2 thing. You know, an act of tilling the soil, an act of making your mark on the world. But the only thing is that an act of love is only an act of love if it's a gift. Love is never a means of getting. That's why it can't be misused. A chapter 2 act is an act of getting. A chapter 1 act is a gift, an unpremeditated, gift without strings, a gift without expectations attached to it. A gift that is given purely as an extension of oneself, because you no longer have a goal to do anything other than the function God gave you by embodying Himself as Himself right where you are. Is intercourse an act of love? It's referred to as an act of love. Well, it might be and it might not be. Is drinking a glass of water an act of love? It might be, and it might not be. Continue.
Acts were not necessary before the separation.
In chapter 1.
Because belief in space and time did not exist. It was only after the separation that the atonement and the conditions necessary for its fulfillment were planned. Then a defense so splendid was needed that it could not be misused, although it could be refused. Refusal could not, however, turn it into a weapon of attack, which is the inherent characteristic of other defenses. The atonement thus becomes the only defense that is not a two-edged sword. It can only heal.
Those are incredible words.
Yeah.
The truth is incredible. So the real question this week in everything you do is, it needs to be, am I going to give expression to the voice for truth or the voice for fear? If you're going to give expression to the voice for truth, you will not engage in self-defense. Because that's not a gift. And it's not love. And it sends no messengers out for confirmation of that which causes your gift to be an agent for change and transformation and healing in the world. If you feel inclined to become defended and thus engage in retaliatory attack, you will find yourself bound to a chapter 2 experience. The struggle of the human condition. And you will be saying that you are the descendants of Adam and Eve. And that such a world as existed after the mist arose is real. And it's your domain. And it's your environment. But if you want to break that illusion, you've got to make the choice for the voice for truth. You've got to make the choice for love, which means becoming undefended, because you can't make a gift from a standpoint of defense. A defensive hand is a fist, and there's no way to give away what is inside your hand when it is closed up in a fist. It's that simple. And there's no way that your hand can be a weapon when it's extended in an open position. Oh, I realize that it can be used to slap with, but you understand my point. Continue.
The atonement was built into the space-time belief to set a limit on the need for the belief itself, and ultimately to make learning complete. The atonement is the final lesson. Learning itself, like the classrooms in which it occurs, is temporary. The ability to learn has no value when change is no longer necessary. The eternally creative have nothing to learn. You can learn to improve your perceptions and can become a better and better learner. This will bring you into closer and closer accord with the sonship. But the sonship itself is a perfect creation, and perfection is not a matter of degree.
This is why it is a good idea not to engage in evaluating your skill as a learner, and not to make commitment to the process of learning. Learning is unavoidable, but don't make commitment to learning. Be willing to abandon learning at any moment, because to the degree that you have not locked yourself into a learning process, you are a prime target for an inspiration and an insight and a direct penetration of your divinity, because it's in the unguarded moments that this happens. So don't place too high a value on learning. Place your value on being receptive, and then to the best of your ability be defenseless against the influx of that which you haven't entertained before, of that which you haven't allowed to be in your presence before. Continue.
Only while there is a belief in differences is learning meaningful.
Indeed. Continue.
Evolution is a process in which you seem to proceed from one degree to the next.
Important word not to let escape your attention, the word seem. Evolution is a process in which you seem to proceed from one degree to the next. Continue.
You correct your previous missteps by stepping forward. This process is actually incomprehensible in temporal terms because you return as you go forward.
And this is because each step toward home is an undoing of a step you took away from home. And so it is indeed a return. Continue.
The atonement is a device by which you can free yourself from the past as you go ahead. It undoes your past errors, thus making it unnecessary for you to keep retracing your steps without advancing to your return. In this sense, the atonement saves time, but like the miracle it serves, does not abolish it. As long as there is need for atonement, there is need for time.
And as long as there is time, or seems to be time, there is need for the atonement. As long as you seem to be able to justify not extending love, the call for expressing love will confront you. The call for returning to your function will confront you. As long as you don't get the message, you will have time to get the message. And once you get the message, you won't need time to get the message, and time will no longer be an experience. Continue. Microphone.
So last week we were talking about light bulbs and sailing ships, and you clarified that that was us just embracing God's willingness to give us the kingdom through our sieve, and it'd be reasonable to look at evolution as that same process of embracing our wholeness through our sieve.
There is a correspondence there, yes. And at the bottom line, the learning in that is that it is valueless to employ a sieve at all. Continue.
But the atonement is, as a completed plan, has a unique relationship to time. Until the atonement is complete, its various phases will proceed in time. But the whole atonement stands at time's end. At that point, the bridge of return has been built.
Indeed. You see, it's just a matter of a return from a misperception to a correct perception. It's arriving at a point where you abandon commitment to the so-called fun of looking at everything with just a little bit of skew added to it, you see. It's like the new frames for glasses that have their shape, the memory of their shape built into them, so that when you twist them, they immediately pop back into their original shape. What you divinely are, and which you can't alter in any way, is the same as this built-in memory in these frames of the glasses. And so no matter how much you twist yourself and contort yourself to look funny or different from yourself, what you are is implanted there, and when either you get tired from the effort to hold the contorted position, or you just decide to stop, the return to your normal shape, the return to what you never could stop being, is spontaneous and automatic and effortless. You see? So the last step is in the plan from the beginning. The shape of those glasses is in them from the beginning, even before they were twisted. And when the twist is released, without effort, without work, without labor, without toil, you will find yourself experiencing yourself truly and everything else truly. It's inevitable. It doesn't take work. You don't have to refine yourself. It's not an evolutionary process. And you will find that the hardest work you ever did was trying not to be who you are. Becoming who you are happens spontaneously when the effort that you are applying upon yourself to be different simply ceases. When you stop wanting to be man who tills the soil and make your mark and have authority, when you abandon that, Chapter 1 comes to view. The simplicity of it, the wholeness of it, the bliss of it, the purity of it, the right-mindedness of it. And the conscious harmony with every aspect of creation infinitely is yours, is returned to you. And what opens that door, what promotes the spontaneous shift, is the embrace and embodiment of the atonement principle, which is love, and embodying it in acts of love rather than acts of defense. And on that, we will call it a night. Thank you. I enjoy being with you.